Well, a very good afternoon, a very good evening to all of our participants joining globally. Welcome to foundit. Well, Monster now is foundit. Well, foundit is a platform that curates the path to possibilities for you to find exactly what you seek and be able to say foundit. Well, we want to be the trusted partner to enable and connect the right talent with the right opportunities. Well, we are formerly Monster, and we want to be the trusted partner with our USPs, unique data set, personalize, promise a customized journey so we find you a talent and opportunities better and faster. Well, welcome all of you to foundit, formerly Monster, APAC, and EMI. Well, on behalf of this, I'd like to take you guys through a video, which will also help you understand how we created ripples and how we want to also generate the pathway, because it starts with you. So we want to show you a video, after which we will start our RecRoute session. I'm sure that all of our participants are also joining in online, and we will start off with the video first. Thank you. And before we talk about, have you heard about foundit? Let me also take a look and also showcase the screen again one more time, if you guys are able to see this. Thank you so much. And well, this is another RecRoute session again. So foundit, well, this is season and session 12. Well, season 1 from foundit, right? So foundit is now going to talk about employee engagement and how it's going to evolve in 2023. Well, I understand that this is a very significant topic that we're going to talk about, right? So I'd like to again welcome all our participants from India, Gulf, and Southeast Asia. Well, as you all know, RecRoute is an initiative by foundit to connect leaders in the HR and recruiting space with aspirational HR and TA professionals through a series of live webinar sessions. The idea is to share the learnings, trends, and best practices to empower and enable them to keep up with the fast-changing HR recruiting landscape. Well, according to Gallup research, poor employee engagement has been estimated to cost around 7 trillion in lost productivity as well. So no wonder employee engagement is the top priority for organizations today. Well, for that, let's also look at the speaker. Well, let's meet the speaker for today, Dr. S. Naga Siddharth, CHRO, UrbanPiper. Well, to speak about him, he's also a leader, author based out of Bangalore, India, an engineer, has worked across various industries like aviation, retail, and IT as well. Welcome to RecRoute, Siddharth. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, guys. Good afternoon to everyone. We have think 100 plus participants. Congratulations to Monster team on the successful rebranding and all. I think before we start, I'd request Noel, we have a wonderful little poll there
Yes.
for participants to figure out how global is our audience today. So could we run that?
Absolutely. I'm going to run the poll at the moment. And yes, the poll is launched as well. So we'll wait. I request all the participants to, ensure that they kindly, take these questions as well. We also have across 120 people in the house today. And I could also see that, people are attempting the poll as well. And I request every one of you to kindly participate in this poll. I'll keep this up and running for the next 10 seconds. It will give you ample time to as well look at it too. All right. So we can stop the poll at the moment. And Siddharth, I hope you're able to see the results as well. And they speak for themselves.
Are the participants able to see the results?
Yes, we have already launched it, and we say that 90, almost 100% people have answered this, and ITES BPO is the maximum percentage that we have. We also have people from banking, accounting, financial services, manufacturing, engineering, education, construction, and energy, oil, gas, petroleum as well.
Wonderful. So I think we have quite a wonderful, nice mix here. I hope everyone's had lunch. It's around 3 p.m. and it's fairly cold here out in Bangalore, where I'm based in. And I'm definitely curious to know where others are coming from. So if it's not too much trouble, could we have the participants probably drop in a message on chat saying, just indicating where they're from? Or do we have a separate poll for that? Noel, do we have a separate poll for that?
Well, let me just check that as well.
Okay, I guess we have participants quite active here already. And
absolutely. I was just about to say that, and then
yeah, I think today's session being on engagement, we have very engaged participants already.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joshna from Coimbatore, Narsimhan from Bangalore. We can shut the poll down, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Selina from Mumbai, Prachi, Vizag, Bijal or Baijal, Mumbai, Deepthi, Mumbai. And we have Chennai, Gurgaon, Bangalore, Gauri from Coimbatore, again, quite a bit of Coimbatore there. Syed from Dubai, wonderful. We have international here. Shikha, Gurgaon, Kochi, Karur. Wow, that's like the heartland of manufacturing. Dubai, again, from we have George, Lalita, Preeta, Upen, Joy, Indra, Jan. Yeah, we have a little bit of Southeast Asia as well. Participants coming from there, welcome. We have Malaysia, Philippines, Gurgaon, Bhopal, Kolkata. So we have a very decent representation across North, South, East, West, as well as a little bit of Middle East and Southeast Asia here. Coimbatore, Macedonia. Wow, that's interesting. Chennai, UAE, Hyderabad, Karur, quite a bit of Karur there. Karur and Coimbatore, I guess. Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Malaysia, Bangalore, Gagan from Gurgaon, Maharashtra, Kuala Lumpur, and so on. Priya from Gurgaon there, Joyce from Mumbai, and Vaishaki from Coimbatore. So a very, very diverse set of participants here. Priyam seems to have raised, you seem to have raised your hand. I'm just trying to find out if there's a question you have. You can always type it in there. Vinod from Chennai. Yeah, Vinod, we typically use the chat window here. The Q&A, I'm going to kind of mark it as answered. Thanks and welcome. Here we go. Wonderful. So while we start this, we have roughly 55 minutes, out of which I'll make the presentation sharp for around 40 minutes, not more than that, because the human mind can't take more than 40 minutes, right? So the shorter, the better. So the idea is we just go over very quickly, hey, what's engagement, what's going to happen probably in 2023, now that we are almost in 2023, and having a very common understanding of what's engagement about, what can we do as HR professionals. And while we are very diverse from across the globe, across countries, and so on, I think one common thing here is that we're all people management professionals or human resource professionals, and there's so much that we can do, because human beings are the only probably resource that can rejuvenate and learn and develop. Right. With that positive note, I'll start sharing my slides. I'll keep an eye on the entire chat window. Priyam, your hand is still raised. I'm not sure if you have a question you can ask, or you can. I'll probably take care of that later. Thanks. So keep your your earphones on. We have a couple of videos also in the presentation, and it should make your Friday evening a memorable one, right? So here we are, employee engagement and how is it going to evolve in 2023. My name is Siddharth. I did my thesis, submitted my thesis some time ago. And I'm based out of Bangalore, India. These are a couple of things that I do. I'm a performance coach. I don't do anything else, as in therapy or psychotherapy or anything. I'm clearly a performance coach. I work with human resources professionals as well as founders of companies. So that's me. My photograph, as you would have made out by now, is a little dated, but then that's me, all right. I'm based out of Bangalore, India. I do three things: CHRO. I work with a wonderful startup based out of Bangalore. I'm a performance coach, and I also do a lot of HR innovation. I've written 5 books. My first book on analytics was in 2011-12. I also wrote a toolkit for people managers, a little bit more on that if we have time later, because this is not a self-promotion session. This is about engagement. So we'll stick to that. I also wrote a book on compensation design, being an awesome people leader. That's the latest one, and that's really something I'm kicked about. Seago Talent is basically Siddharth and Goldsmith Talent. It's an initiative with Dr. Marshall Goldsmith that I run. It's an absolutely pro bono initiative where I work with people leaders and HR professionals. We developed a set of tools based on globally practiced initiatives by Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, and absolutely useful for HR managers, talent acquisition leaders, and so on. I had a chance to work with Dr. Uday Parikh, so that's how I learned my psychometrics. Wrote a couple of papers on that, and also worked deeply on this concept called discretionary effort. We look at it if it's relevant later. So the first question, and here we go, is, hey, there's a question here. Kamali from Chennai, thank you. Thanks. Okay. Here is, I hope I pronounced the name right. So here's a little bit of interesting stuff. So there's a Slido event that is running right now. All you need to go is to go to slido.com on your desktop or on your mobile, and there's a code there, 2039422, right? So I'll stop sharing. You can go to slido.com and log in there. If there's any challenge you face, you can always let me know on chat. I'll just share the Slido screen in a moment. Oh, you need the code number. I'll just share that in a moment. We also have a QR code there on screen, just in case you need it. I hope you're able to see the screen. Yeah, it shows that it's shared right now. Noel, are you able to see the slido.com screen?
Yes, I'm able to, Siddharth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So please start responding to this question. What does employee engagement mean? It's important for all of us to have a common understanding. I hope Indra, you're sorted. Deepti and Prem, Kunal, Gauri, Prachi, Han, Aishwarya, Mohan Raj. The code is 2039422. I'll also type that in there. That should help. I guess I ended up sending that to the host. 2039422. Here we go. We have 16 participants, 18 participants. Come on, you can do better than that. We have 144 participants. Just write whatever you feel like, right? So if you think engagement is about activities, write it. There are no, I mean, it's a learning experiment today, and that too, it's on a Friday evening. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of excitement. So Bijal or Bijal, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. If you can use a Slido, if you can go to Slido and type it out instead of the webinar chat, that will be great. If you're having a challenge with Slido, that's perfectly fine. Good afternoon, Shashi. Good afternoon, SP Mishra. Welcome. You not lost much. All you need to do is, of course, I guess Dubai has great weather right now. So it's wonderful that you chosen to come in and join a session. I'm sure this is going to be meaningful for you. So please join slido.com and type out your answers there. We start looking at answers. Here we go. So to use employee potential, keeping employees motivated, feel happy at work, engaging them regularly, basic concepts, employee connection, can be engaged with the employer and more productivity. This is brilliant stuff. Whoever said productivity, brilliant stuff. Mental attachment, that's called psychological contract, that's brilliant. Whoever is anonymous, yeah, feel free to share your names, that's perfectly fine. Connecting people, corporate setting, this is brilliant, this is wonderful. The nature of relationship between an organization and employees. So if you see, the beauty of this is that you have so much of variety of understanding of a simple concept called employee engagement, right? And hence we start with a common understanding or a common, a common definition, as we can call it, of what is employee engagement. Right, brilliant. Thank you so much to all the wonderful responses that we've got today. Productivity is a great word, and let's dwell upon it a little more. So thank you, folks. I just shut this poll down right now and go back to the presentation, right? Noel, a quick check. Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, Siddharth, I am able to see that.
So I think we all now have our lips like, finger on the lips now. What's employee engagement, right? So all the participants, wonderful, 146 people. This is brilliant. So here are some of the definitions that I ran into, right? And it's quite interesting. So psychological contract, right? So full marks to all of us who said mental connect, mental ownership, emotionally, etc. This is what it is. It also says it's a degree to which the employees invest in their cognitive, emotional and behavioral energies towards positive organizational outcomes. This is a little interesting. All kinds of energies and into organizational outcomes. So it's not generally having fun or whatever. It's a little deeper than that. Is the strength of the mental and emotional connection. So many of our wonderful participants also shared this, and it's defined as the emotional investment employees make in the organizations, right? So this is where we are. I guess a couple of folks are saying we're not able to see the presentation. I will change again. Let me see if there's something that I'm missing out.
Siddharth, looks like you're trying to reshare the screen back, right?
I am trying to. Okay, participants are giving feedback that they were not able to see the screen on that. Yeah. Okay, I hope people can see it now.
I'm able to see that as well, Siddharth. Let's just check participants.
It's visible now.
Help us. Yes, they are able to see that. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, folks. Really helpful of you guys. Thanks for the feedback. Here we go. So these are the definitions on the right side. And, anyone who's gone through all these definitions is probably feeling like this, right? It's raining definitions and words and terms and all this. And typically when someone says employee engagement. The image that comes to mind is this. Now tell me, all of you, honestly, on chat, how many of you have ever attended a Rangoli competition in office and someone called it employee engagement? Come on, chat. Type it there. We have honest guys. We have honest guys here. We have very honest guys. No, you never been. Yes, this happens frequently. Oh yeah, Diwali too. Yeah. So it's probably Rangoli is a very cultural thing probably in India where you would have colored powder or something being used to create patterns on oh yeah, Raymond, yeah, that's right. So everywhere, now the idea is not as much about Rangoli or having a Rangoli competition, but the fact is the mind goes towards activities, fun activities, right? Engagement is often celebrations. That's right, Dipti. Wonderful, thank you. So I guess I got my message across, saying often engagement is understood as this. Now let's look at something a little deeper. Thanks to all of you who responded almost instantly, and Gauri giving a wide, bright smile there with a smiley as well. So here we go. So here's an ad that I'm going to play. And now we are confused, right? So we've seen all those wonderful definitions, huge number of definitions. We felt, it's raining inside the room. And then we've seen this entire thing around activity and fun and celebrations and all that. And now we are wondering, hey, what is this engagement about? Right? One of the ways of trying to clarify a concept is to ask, what happens because of that? Or so what, right? So here's I'm going to share, play an ad for you. It was an advertisement probably from 20 years ago. This was by a company that was selling water purifiers. And this ad has a mix of Hindi and English. Hindi is a local language in India. And for the benefit of our participants who are not probably very familiar with Hindi, what happens is there's this sales guy who comes into the home and he keeps asking for stuff. And there's this very intelligent, curious kid who keeps asking, usse kya hoga? And now, usse kya hoga in any other language is so what, or what would happen because of that, right? And he goes on and on and on, till he figures out it's actually, drinking pure water is about being healthy, and being healthy is about getting great marks, and getting great marks is about getting a great graduation and then becoming a rocket scientist. Okay, so that's what this ad is about. So for those of us who remember this ad, another 2 minutes of fun. For those of you who haven't, just figure out whether you can make out what's basically happening. It's pretty much like going into a foreign country and watching a movie for the sake of fun, right? So enjoy.
Hello, what's your name?
Ron.
मम्मी को बुलाओ।
मम्मी! हाँ बेटा?
जी यूरेका फोर्ब्स से। हेलो।
ये क्या है?
ये एक्वागार्ड है।
इससे क्या होगा?
उससे पानी पूरा सुरक्षित होगा।
उससे क्या होगा?
सुरक्षित पानी से रोहन बनेगा स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड स्मार्ट।
और उससे क्या होगा?
उससे रोहन को स्कूल में टॉप मार्क्स मिलेंगे।
और
उससे क्या होगा? उससे रोहन कामयाब आदमी बनेगा।
Kids grow great on AquaGuard's absolutely safe drinking water.
हम अपने घर में एक्वागार्ड जरूर रखेंगे, वरना रोहन रॉकेट साइंटिस्ट कैसे बनेगा?
रॉकेट साइंटिस्ट?
Call me on 962.
Okay, thank you. So, how many of you had seen this ad earlier? Any responses? Yeah, this was a very popular ad when it used to come, right? So thank you, Swati, Gauri, Naga Narasimhan, Vaishnavi, Ruby, Mohanraj, Saraswati, and many others who've been really fast and responsive and very active. Thank you so much. What we'll do is, so I started asking, hey, what is engagement? I mean, what happens because of engagement, right? So I had to ask, usse kya hoga, right? And then probably there was someone who was very, yeah, like the dad over there, right? He was getting really embarrassed. So, but then I did this on my own, so there was nobody getting embarrassed. So then I went and then figured out, hey, if engagement, people are saying, hey, people will work better. So then I said, what is performance, right? And that's where we are going to go back to our Slido and ask everyone, hey, what is performance? Right? So we are going to have a quick interaction. The poll is live on Slido. I'll just share the screen. What is performance? So go back to that same Slido and start typing out as to what is performance. So just to recap, for those who have just joined, we started with engagement. We saw huge definitions. We said, no, let's get to the, the root cause of whatever this is. And then we went into what is, usse kya hoga? Then we said performance. Now we are trying to find out what's performance. Wonderful. It would be great if you even type out your name so that I can acknowledge each one of you. Kishore, thank you. So this is what typically happens, right? There are responses around results. There are things around energy. There are things around expectations. Again, if you see, this is the beauty and the dangerous thing about HR, right? So Arvind, we are waiting for your responses on Slido. But yeah, I appreciate your response. So this is what makes HR exciting, at the same time very scary for people, right? So if you go to someone in accounts and ask him what is credit and debit, he'll tell you exactly what is credit and debit, and you go around the world and everybody will tell you the same thing. Here, in a group of 140 HR professionals, we've had 180 definitions of engagement and probably 190 definitions of performance, right? And so this is what opens up possibilities. At the same time, there's also this danger that probably we are communicating different things. So what we'll do right now is, while acknowledging everyone, thank you, Saraswati, we will also look at the varied definitions of performance that have come up, and then jump to what is one common definition of performance that can be used, right? Happy employees. I'm just looking for a specific answer here. And if we find that, we'll acknowledge and applaud. I'm looking for one particular word. Wonderful. So while I shut the screen down in a moment, we will, I'll take a moment to say thank you very much for, your active participation. Brilliant active participation. It's really exciting to be a facilitator for a session where we have such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. So here we are. What is performance, right? Now let's look at this. It's football season now, so watch this carefully.
Efren Alvarez showing short. Daniel Steres now lobs into the area. Pontius knocks it down. Corona. Ibrahimovic looking for the second chance. Score! On the bicycle! And the Galaxy pull one back.
So here's the problem, right? If I define performance as results, then all those other guys who passed the ball to the final guy, they were all non-performers. So performance can't be results, right? Is it efficiency? Am I trying and finding out how many calories everybody has done? And if I have all the calories that of everybody, how much they have expended, does it mean the goal is achieved? Or if they all have not, spent calories at all and have been extremely efficient in energy management, does it mean it is high performance? So these are some of the nuances that makes us get very curious about what is this definition of performance, right? There is someone who has typed something there. Let me just go and see. Performance is a task, or we can say a function. You're coming closer and closer to that, right? Now let's look at a simple definition of performance. Observable behavior is equal to performance. Just remember this. If there is behavior that is observed, it is performance. Now, I'm not saying this is high performance or this is good performance or this is bad performance. All I'm saying is what is performance? It is observable behavior. For example, let us say there's a receptionist, who's managing a large office, and this person, if let's say there's a very angry customer who comes and starts screaming, and this person doesn't react, right? So do you say does not react is performance? That is where this word observable becomes important. Does not react is not observable. Keeping calm is observable. It's a very minor difference, right? But the way you phrase it and frame it in the mind makes all the difference. What is observable is not something that I have imagined. For example, some of our colleagues today said it is potential to do something. Now, is potential observable? Can you see it? No, you can't see it, right? You can only think about it. And hence it's called potential. Ability, is ability observable? Ability is observable only when the behavior is seen. And hence performance is observable behavior. Let's get this clear. I just want to do a quick chat check. Can we all type in if we are aligned on this? You understood this, or you want me to explain further? I'll be happy to explain. I'm waiting for feedback on chat. Not on Slido, on chat. Understood. Thanks. Lalita, Gauri, wonderful, clear. So now, even if I wake you up at 3 o'clock in the night, Jerson, I'll come back to you again. So Jerson, yeah, sure. Now, there are a few of us who said, okay, give me for the examples and how does this happen, right? Prem, thank you. Any work, right, consists of effort and then consists of an outcome. Performance, the descriptor of performance will be the outcome. For example, high performance, great performance, right? Some sales guy who's done sales, who's achieved targets, has performed and achieved targets. Don't mix up the targets with performance. Performance is the effort that goes in, right? The performance can be bad, good, or great, or any of that, right? And hence, a salesperson who's making a sale is typically talking to someone, he's meeting someone, he's shaking hands, he's setting up time or whatever. Or take a recruiter, for example, right? Someone's going and using foundit. There could be two recruiters who are using foundit, right? And the way they use it are very different. So what makes it different? It's observable behavior. Somebody just goes and uses a simple search and someone else uses a Boolean search. It is observable behavior, and hence performance is equal to observable behavior. I hope this is clear. So let's look at what is called the performance domain, right? So if anybody, I hope Alti and everyone, Jerson, thank you for confirming that. So if you look at performance domain or any work that is happening in an organization, you'll see that there's something called in-role behavior, right? In-role behavior is basically that minimum thing you do and you can get away with it, right? So if there's a team member in recruitment or in HR, they have to get so many resumes, good, bad, ugly, whatever they figured out, found it as a great platform or whatever else, some other platform or their own database, they've gone inside and, they've picked it up, right? And they've just dumped those resumes and gone away. So you can't fire them for not doing work. They've given you resumes. And then there are recruiters or HR guys in your team who display what are called organization citizenship behavior. For example, they help the other team members out. They are very sportsman-like behaviors, which is, they take victory and loss, in a good way. They learn from things and they do. There are 5 dimensions of OCB, which is also called organization citizenship behavior. I'm not getting into that. There's another thing that all leaders love in their team members, and that's called discretionary effort. So even in performance, there's something called discretionary effort. And discretionary effort is, what can I do more than what is just needed to keep the job? And if you see right from the beginning, we've all been chasing discretionary effort without talking about it openly. Discretionary effort is what more effort or behavior am I displaying at the workplace for the job to get organizational outcomes, right? For example, a recruiter who goes and learns Boolean search and is able to get you much better quality of resumes has displayed discretionary effort, right? Or someone who's understood, let us say, if someone's hiring a React native, a technology engineer, and he or she has gone in and understood what is React native, then that is discretionary effort, because they are then able to convey or have a much better conversation and engagement with the candidate, right? So what does this actually mean? It means, like, this guy, does anybody know who this guy is? Familiar with this guy? Anyone? Yes. So who is it, Gauri? You can chat, just in case you forgot. Yeah, the druid from Asterix, right? So here's a guy who's making a magic potion, and you drink this magic potion and you get superhuman strengths, right? So as a HR professional or as a recruitment professional, what you're trying to do is get that exact ingredients that will get you discretionary effort. And that's the reason in a session on engagement, we've been talking about performance, we've been talking about in-role behavior, etc., so that we know exactly what is it we are chasing, right? Like it happens often in recruitment. Unless the hiring manager knows exactly what they're looking for, they keep rejecting candidates, right? So this is actually something that comes from recruitment. Unless you know what you're looking for, you won't find it, right? So now we know we are looking for discretionary effort. Great. So how do we? So just let's take a step back, right? While we are looking at discretionary effort and so on, this is like what's happening in the company. Now, what's happening in the world? So if you see, there is this article that I wrote sometime in 2020 when the lockdown had just started. I had said shifts happening. And there were 3 specific ones that I had written in 2020. So I said the shoulds and the oughts are going away. Control tendencies of corporations that would never agree to work from home have been addressed. And work from home is becoming a definite value proposition for employers, right? And it's come true. More work from home will mean one more thing: real estate costs will come down, so on and so forth. And finally, I said many more people are going to go off grid, and this is again coming true, where solar, wind energy, water harvesting, etc., for self-use will become widespread. Combined with the technological prowess of such people, the farming community will also. In fact, there is a company in India which has gone completely this way. It's called Zoho. You can always check it out, when you get some time. So what's happening? People want to work remotely. On the other hand, companies are looking at productivity, and hence what might change in the future, right? In 2023, I think the first thing is the value of the in-between will be realized. Let me tell you what is in-between. So I'm in office and we are working from office now. And if I just walk there, I have someone else coming and interacting with me. And in that interaction, there is so much of rich data that is there, right? Right from the posture of the person, if the person is going out for having a coffee and, invites me and I just walk around, maybe I don't drink coffee, but I just go there and have a chat. I get to find out how's the person, what's happening at home, and so on. So these in-between relationship building initiatives or behaviors are going to be realized, because life is not about sitting in front of a 13-inch monitor and working, right? Though productivity, so-called productivity, might be high, individuals are facing a lot of other things. And one of them is that seniors are not able to mentor juniors at the workplace. And hence the glow of that talent, right? Which usually is there. Every year when youngsters come into the organization, there's a lot of mentoring, and by mentoring and coaching, seniors also learn, juniors are learning, and so on. With these 2 years of people not actually socializing at the workplace, that's taking a hit, right? And the impact of that's going to be seen in 2023. Psychological issues at the workplace are going to be seen. They're going to be much more common. In fact, companies like ours, we've actually started signing up with agencies who give remote support. Well, it's simple, right? If someone's going to be sitting in a room for 8 hours a day without much human contact and constantly trying to get on to con calls and trying to second guess the other person's emotions, and half the other people with video off, I mean, it's a kind of a very mechanical life, right? So these issues are going to be coming up. The fourth one is that corporations are going to shed any hesitation about talking about productivity. productivity issues are already there. People are concerned about productivity in work from home situations. And the reason for that is not just employees, but the fact that all our work systems and monitoring systems have all been developed in a work from office environment. And we are trying to use the same ones for work from home, right? For example, a sales team would always fill in every day's work. And there are huge softwares called Zoho, there is Salesforce, and so on, right? So productivity isn't a bad word in a team like sales. However, in HR and maybe recruitment, if someone were to say, hey, would you fill in timesheets? Well, a few of us are probably doing that right now, but there are many others who will say, hey, my boss is a control freak. Well, make peace. The fact is, corporations are going to shed any hesitation around talking about productivity openly, and more mechanisms are going to come up which will help leaders and team members quantify, manage, and talk about the productivity that that they are able to display. So it's quite a sobering thought, but at the same time, it's quite a lot of authenticity that's going to be coming up. And while all this is happening, I think one of the important things is this thing called care, the human ability to care for each other. Good companies will be able to care for their employees, and that will be the platform on which any change would be managed. And let me also share why. Because the pandemic has suddenly put a lot of people in touch with their real emotions. Emotions are no longer being brushed off. People value family, people value friends, people value circle. And the best of the companies, and by care, I don't mean having a huge, entertainment budget or, massive, road shows and, offsites and all that. No. Care is absolutely caring for the person. And to give you an example, let me share a story, right? The story is about the monk and the surgeon. And this is a real story. So there's a monk, a Buddhist monk who's based out of Australia, Ajahn Brahm, and there was a kid who used to come to his monastery and who used, with his parents and so on. And this kid grew up at a point in time, became a doctor, a lot of studies and a lot of hard work, became a surgeon, I guess. And at a point in time, one day, this young man now comes to the monk and says, hey, you know what? I don't want to be a doctor anymore. And he's been seeing this kid grow up, and he says, you put in so much of hard work and you become a doctor, and today you suddenly come and say, I don't want to do this anymore. What happened? And this child and this young man says, hey, apparently there was a young lady patient, and this patient couldn't be saved by this guy, and he had to go and give the bad news to the sad news to the husband of this young lady, and he just felt terrible. He said, listen, he's not going to do this anymore. And that's when Ajahn Brahm gives him some advice, right? And I found that advice very useful. He says, your job as a doctor is not to cure the patient. It is to care for the patient, right? How many of you got this? Just put a message on chat. Your job as a doctor is not to try to cure the patient. It is to care for the patient. Just 4 of you, 5 of you got it? 7, 8. Anyone else who got it? We have 142 girls. Your job is to care for the patient, not cure the patient. Now, what does this mean? It means I put in all my effort in doing the best to care for that person. And what do you think exactly you got it, Joshna? You got it. So, I see HR folks all the time trying to do things on their employees, right? It's almost like I have a tool and, I'm going to do something. I got this new engagement questionnaire, chalo, I'll try it on someone, right? I have this new, newfangled something else. I try it on employees. I think that's trying to cure people. I think the beginning of engagement in 2023 and beyond will be about caring for people. And this is Ajahn Brahm. You can't always cure, you can always care, right? And while the best of the companies understand this, there would be, for example, so let's look at this thing, right? People always used to do engagement hoping that discretionary effort happened, right? Now you understand why I brought in discretionary effort, performance, and so on. So if you see the small little word here, can someone just read that and type it out? What is the small little word there? It makes all the difference. Assumption, that's right. Right? Now, what's happening here is people are chasing engagement, assuming that it will lead to discretionary effort. Now, when I start asking people, you ran this, cooking competition, how is it going to lead to better coding? Right? They don't have an answer. And that's the reason we've got to look at engagement very differently. Right? So let's look at what might be the future of engagement. So for discretionary effort, what do? You personalize KRAs, right? As a HR guy, I can go sit with the individual and help personalize it, right? Make it meaningful for that individual. I can have performance coaching conversations. I can get performance coaches and have conversations. I can also start focusing on a sense of achievement at the workplace, right? I can do rewards and recognition. I can do peer recognition. I can do self-recognition and so on. And productivity conversations and boredom, right? So you can be very sure that very shortly, there are going to be people who are going to get bored of all this working remote, working from Sikkim and working from Ladakh. They're going to say, done with my holiday, I'm going to come back to office. So be ready, be prepared for this as a part of driving engagement for discretionary effort. The other piece is we've always seen engagement questions and engagement answers. The future is around ecology. By ecology, what I mean is companies like mine are looking at values at the workplace, measuring the motivational climate, looking at neurosciences to understand, hey, what's happening in the head of the employee, looking at discretionary effort, is the employee wanting to do discretionary effort, and of course, looking at autonomy. So when I talk about something like this, what it actually means is that, there's this beautiful WhatsApp and Facebook forward that keeps popping up once in a way. It says that if your rose plant isn't giving you flowers, you don't go and fix the plant. You fix the soil and the water and the fertilizers, right? So hence, what is that ecology in which the employees are working in? That which can give you discretionary effort, right? Are you all with me till now? One yes, please. Over there. Yes. Yay. Good. So we have 144 people. I usually get only 20 yeses. I hope others are still here. Sure. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, there's this other thing called active engagement. Okay. Now, we've all seen engagement, asking people questions, etc. This is something that is very useful. I am slightly running out of time, so it is 3:50. I'm going to just run that small piece, or I'll talk to you about this, and you can watch the video, right? Let me see how long the video is. A 5-minute video. So what I'm going to do is probably jump over quite a bit of stuff and come to this part, which is around active questions. This is Marshall Goldsmith, world's greatest executive coach and a mentor of mine. And he's talking about engagement and how his daughter came up with something here, right? Let's listen to him.
Leadership is a contact sport, same training, same everything. The key variable for success is the leader in the program. My daughter, Dr. Kelly Goldsmith, and I did some research on happiness and meaning. What did we find out? People who are miserable at work are miserable at home. A large part of our happiness, misery, engagement, and satisfaction is not what's on the outside, it's on the inside. And by the way, if the major variable in employee engagement is the company, not the employee, why is it people who are disengaged at work are the same people who are disengaged at home? We've also done research on active and passive questions. And my daughter brought up a great point. Everything in employee engagement is focused on something called passive questions. That gets people to focus on what can the company do to help me, not active questions, how can I help myself? And we've learned by getting people to focus on themselves and how they can make a difference, we can create a very dramatic and positive change in employee engagement without doing just another HR program. And we can get people to focus on what can I do to engage myself? What can I do to make a difference? As opposed to what the company's doing for me. What's most exciting.
So this is a revolutionary idea, and it's worked extremely well. For example, when I was working in retail, we made a small little survey that got people to answer every day, right? Did you do your best to talk to greet the customer? Did you do your best to understand the customer's need? Did you do your best to sell the product to the customer? Did you do your best to explain the product to the customer? Did you do your best to thank the customer? Sales in this one store where we did this continuously for 3 months, sales went up almost 50%. Okay, and this is a very powerful tool. It's called active engagement. It is basically you ask questions in your engagement survey, not only saying, for example, do you know your goals at work, right? They'll say, no, I don't know, nobody told me, right? Whereas if I ask, did you do your best to know your goals at work? Now we are talking, right? That's why HR can start having a conversation, right? Let's look at the 3 levels of ownership, right? So the first thing is the organization needs to have ownership in terms of the ecology, in terms of caring for people, right? The second is the human resources department or the staffing team also, because you guys see people before they join the company, right? You have a lot of ownership in getting people to understand that it's no longer about the company doing something for you. It's also about how much you put in that effort to be engaged and put in that extra discretionary effort. And finally, of course, ownership at the individual level to ensure that they are putting in whatever they need to be engaged at work. While we do this, let's quickly do a recap. We're almost towards the end of our session today. So the traditional view is, of course, we spoke about what was the traditional view of engagement, activities, fun, games, and so on. And then we are looking at the futuristic view, which is engagement, which is clearly a business driver. It is no longer a business partner, it's a business driver, right? Setting the tone. So can I stand up there and talk to employees, talk about performance, start talking about how discretionary effort is way beyond cooking competitions and rangoli competitions, right? Ownership, ownership, ownership. Now we know it. What next? We've looked at active engagement, we've looked at ecology surveys, we've looked at personalized KRAs and so on. And how next? We also looked at how to, operationalize it, right? For example, coaching conversations, do we get a recording of this session? Nice question. I don't have an answer to that. Okay. And what we'll do now is go back to our good old Slido, because we have one question to answer there, and trust me, that question is very interesting. Which is 3, 2, 1. Please go over to Slido, and the poll is simple. The poll is. Where's the poll? Okay, what were your learnings today? So this is a poll, 1 or 2 words, and you can give as many 1 or 2 words as you want. Please start typing. I'll share the results. Here we go. We have 133 folks. Guys, this is going to make all the difference. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So did you see that? Lovely, thank you. KPI, care, not cure. Come on, guys, go type. Type. And if you don't type, those learnings over there aren't going to become big enough. So the more number of people who say the same thing, the size of the font expands. Behavior, observed behaviors, performance, perfect. Discretionary effort, wonderful. Employee engagement, better, great. Active engagement, great. Care, not cure. This is interesting. Discretionary performance, wonderful. KRAs, yes. Exact meaning, yes. Ownership, ecology, brilliant. Engagement, you understood that better. Grateful, thank you. Real meaning of engagement, motivational climate. Nice, nice. We'll just keep that on for another 30 seconds. Happy from inside, wow. It's awesome. Another 10 seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we shut the poll. Here you go. These are your results. And let's go back to the presentation. Any questions? You can always ask. Can you, yeah, Gauri, you can probably catch up with me on LinkedIn. I'll tell you what is motivational climate of organization. Virtual engagement, inactive participation, exactly. Exactly. So whoever asked me that question, virtual engagement activities leads to inactive participation, that's right. Because the need of the organizer to have fun is higher than the need of the participant to have fun. So as long as that's going to be there, that's going to be reality. So what is happening there is again very clearly linked to active engagement. You're having passive engagement there, right? So the person is sitting there as a consumer and sitting there and judging the activity. Instead, one simple hack is to have employees design their own activity and run it online, if that's an option. Super. I think we have just one more question. No, we are done. Super. And that's my QR code that will connect you to me instantly on LinkedIn. That's my email ID. Those are the two things that I do in addition to my job and everything else. You can take a screenshot of this and just keep it with you if you don't have a mobile handy. Love to connect with each one of you personally. I'm always open to networking and learning a lot more. It's been a kind of a one-way conversation today. Thank you for to all of you who've been chatting, typing away. It really helped others also learn. And looking forward to staying in touch.
All right. Thank you so much there. Absolutely energetic, engaging as well. Thoroughly enjoyed this session. And we'd like to, thank you for also, sharing that expertise as well. I guess every question was answered. I guess even when there were questions popping up in the chat box, I guess everyone did go ahead and understand. I just wanted to check if anyone has any questions there. So I guess Gauri had a question, and I'm sure that you said that you wanted to connect on LinkedIn as well. So, everyone's already asking when's the next session. So, so we'll do a 2.0 very soon, but then a very rejuvenating, wonderful, engaging session as well. I guess Slido was also, the showstopper today. All right. So let me.
Participants are the showstoppers. They participate.
Absolutely. The participants and Slido together. I guess it was a fabulous combination together as well. And all right. So I'm getting a couple of questions as well. From the chat box to Siddharth, if you'd like me to, start taking them at the moment. I thought we could just cover that in probably the next 2 to 3 minutes in case we have some.
Let me just look at, any particular suggestion of employee engagement for manufacturing and engineering. Well, it's much easier to have actual employee engagement in manufacturing and engineering because number one, the observable behavior is very high. Everything is observable. So you are in luck. Okay. 2, having worker participation to improve performance and making it fun is an absolute treat for the HR professional and for the leadership. So if you want more ideas, want to have a chat, you can always have it with me. You have my LinkedIn ID. Thank you, guys. I'll thank you for the opportunity, the organizing team, and I hope you found it whatever you were looking for in.
So much wonderful session there by Siddharth again. We would like to Thank you. This couldn't be better. Found its first session. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for taking that up and running as well. So please do drop in your feedback, because your feedback also matters. And we'd request you so that you take your survey, understand this, so that we can serve you better. And before we just go off, I thought that since we've evolved to Foundit, Monster is now Foundit. So I thought would like to play the video as well for the participants who are already online. So let me take the privilege of presenting you Foundit, formerly Monster.